Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the Collider Games podcast. My name is Dennis Den. I'm here with...
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Dorian.
And we also have...
Josh Weyers.
And yeah, we skipped out last week.
I'm busy.
I
was in Sundance, or I was at London technically Friday. I don't know. I was at Sundance. We'll say Sundance.
Yeah, I think that the time that you were you were at Sundance. Me and Josh did an episode.
Yeah,
and then
you were in London.
And then you were in London,
okay,
and then he was out.
I was filming. Yeah.
So we had to skip it. Not a lot of huge news came out. Last week.
Mainly that Blizzard thing, but we'll cover that today.
Yeah. So we've wrapped up some of last week's news and this week's news. If you can tell, I'm a little under the weather, so I won't be speaking as much.
And I'm just super tired.
And these two will be
I have energy, so
okay.
Yeah,
There we go. Josh,
I'm here, guys.
Josh is going to carry the
all right.
load today.
The first topic we've got up here is big news, but not much to talk about. We have the Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser is leaving the company
after 21 years.
Yeah, I mean he co-founded with his brother Sam Houser, and he's stepping away. He took a break in the spring of 2019, which I think coincides with they had just wrapped up Red Dead Redemption 2. They launched that earlier, and then they ended up working on the PC version. But yeah, I'm wondering what he's going to do now.
I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this because I saw a very interesting tweet from Funhouse's Alana Pierce. She basically said, I'll pull up the tweet. She said, "This is honestly a huge deal. Rockstar basically is the Houser brothers, and Dan specifically was lead writer on Bully, Red Dead, and Max Payne 3. He also co-wrote virtually every GTA. It feels like one of the Wachowskis leaving the Wachowskis." So, how do y'all feel about that? Do you agree with her?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely.
Man, yeah.
Sam will still be there, but.
I wonder what that means for the Bully sequel going forward. That we still hasn't really been confirmed, but we know they're going to do it. Because if he was the writer on that, that's a tough thing to lose. But at the same time, it's understandable. I mean, he's been doing this just over 21 years. I'm sure he has his reasons for leaving. I think it's probably family. It's
probably 21 years. Probably dude, let me take a break.
Sick of it.
I'm tired, making constant video games and having to write the storylines for all of them, and then
very long,
20+ hour storylines. Bro, I'm tired. Let me go on. I go on hiatus for 5 years, and maybe he can just maybe he'll probably be ghostwriting from afar. His brother is the president, so I'm sure they're still talking and stuff.
Well,
so it'll probably
they said that he'd still hold his position essentially, or something like that. So I don't know what that would really entail because it didn't really speak much about that. But yeah, man. I would say he probably took that break and he was like, "Man, this is nice. This is really nice. I think I'm going to take a really long extended break."
Do you know if he ever worked? Did Mark ever get to work with him? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mark was there very early on in Rockstar, and yeah, I think he knows both Sam and Dan.
Damn.
So.
Well, I mean, they made it look, if you were involved with Rockstar or Take-Two Interactive when GTA 5 came out, and their stocks within a couple months they went up by 600%. I think about this because it's if I just invested $1,000, or even maybe $10,000. If I just decided not to do a semester of college, put that in there, that would about $10,000 would have put me up to by 600%. That would have been $600,000 more.
Student debt will be paid.
Dude, right? Yeah, I was like. Oh, but then again, there's no such thing as a time machine. I can't go back and make investments.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, I'm interested to see what this is going to lead them, what this is going to do with them going forward, especially playing such a pivotal role with the writing and the story and everything. That was I personally enjoyed GTA 4 more as a game in terms of gameplay and things you can do, but I preferred the story in GTA 5. And for me, GTA 5 is still one of the best stories ever, especially because it's so LA and very Hollywood. I love that. So I'm interested as to see where they're going to go forward. I mean, we're not expecting a game from them anytime soon as well. I know that. So it's
No, there hasn't been any announcement. There's been speculation whether it's going to be a Bully sequel or GTA sequel. It's not going to be a Red Dead sequel because we just got that, and that took a long time to come out.
I mean, I think a Bully sequel.
I mean, there's those rumors. Remember, we talked about the medieval.
Yes,
GTA.
You're right. The new IP they're working on possibly.
But that was pure speculation.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Again, I could probably I see him if you're in the game, like Mark, for example, once you're in the game industry, you're always going to be in it. I could see him just basically just saying like, I'm taking a break, being the ghostwriter, like just giving his input from afar, and so he doesn't have to deal with like any fans or anything.
He'd probably
like,
review things. I think like they'd send him scripts and he'd be like, yay or nay.
Yeah,
I think.
Like, just like he can be like the George Lucas of their company now. I don't know why I use that comparison.
I think
we were talking about Mark probably.
Yeah. I think it would be smart for them to do well, at least I think it's more attainable for the next game to be a Bully sequel than it would be for a GTA sequel, just in terms of scale.
Yeah,
and if
that story would be less.
Because I mean, if you look like the previous Bully game took place like they had a couple locations, but for the most part, you're basically on like this. You're at boarding school. You know what I mean? I think they could do the same thing. It would be smart to go to college, and be like on a college campus. But even then, you don't have to create like an entire city, to have the college campus experience.
And also, I couldn't see him like, especially because it's him and his brother's company. I couldn't see him like just leaving without them knowing like the game plan moving forward. Like him like leaving like maybe like you're talking about a Bully sequel. Maybe like they already have that in the works in the long run. They just like I couldn't see him leaving without having like a solid base.
I feel like he must have at least written a bunch of
something
stuff
just
that
so he's like, all right, he's not like, all right, I'm out. Like y'all figure out the rest of the future. Like this is his company.
Yeah, there must be outlines for a lot of future projects.
He must have, especially like I mean, if you think about it, there's quite a bit of downtime with regards to when they were just pushing the Red Dead Online stuff, you know what I mean? Not much writing needed to be done in that. So I feel like he's probably got a good amount of outlines, like already good to go for like the next GTA and next Bully possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And then just hire good writers as well. And at the end of the day, the man deserves it, guys.
Yeah, take a break, my guy.
The man deserves it. Let's be honest. Go home, get some rest, go to your wife and kids.
Just sleep for a couple years and then go in hibernation, and then you'll be good.
Yeah, come out of your cocoon and then become the next Rockstar, or take over Blizzard, please.
All right. So the next topic I wanted to discuss is there was some comments during an earnings call with the Sony's CFO Hiroki Totoki, and he talked about like Sony not having that great of a Christmas and the cost going into the next generation for PlayStation 5 upcoming, and he said that it's not clear or visible because we are competing in the space, so it's very difficult to discuss anything about the price at this point of time, and depending on the price level, we may have to determine the promotion that we're going to deploy and how much cost we are prepared to pay. So it almost sounds like they are waiting to see what Xbox Series X debuts at.
They're going to have to match it.
That's smart. I do that. That's smart. I just be like, all right, Xbox, they have more to prove for the next generation, so they have to do like I think waiting because they have to push marketing ahead of time and like really sell us on this Xbox Series, because like we said, the PS4 won the last generation, so they're really gonna have to try hard. So I could see them having to do something earlier. And if I'm PlayStation, I'm just like, all right, let's wait. Let me just watch from afar. All right, y'all gonna make it 500, bet 475 PS5. But I think that's the right move, to just wait and see what Microsoft does and then play the reaction game.
But I don't think Sony needs to beat Microsoft because they did win the last generation or this current generation. They just need to match what Microsoft is doing, and I think they'll be fine. They don't want to overshoot like Microsoft did with the $500 price point of the original Xbox One with Kinect over
the $400.
Those are significant. Yes, you got something extra with that, but at the same time, it was
who uses their Kinect?
Not everyone wanted to use their Kinect.
Do they still sell those?
I don't know. I have mine, but the best thing I use it for was for voice recognition.
And I was saying facial recognition. That's like the only thing. I like being able to sit down and the Xbox is like, "Hi, Josh," and I'm like, "Hi, Xbox."
Yeah,
thank you.
So,
they must have. I think they must have looked at that and been like, they don't want to make the same mistake that Xbox did. Just like you said, they don't want to come out and be like, we're a lot more hardware heavy, so we're gonna have to push a higher price point, and then they're gonna have to match. I think it would be smart for them to match it. Like it'd be difficult to go lower than their price, because I think Xbox is definitely gonna have a lower price this time around.
It sounds like Sony doesn't want to pay. Like it sounds like they're already kind of like, because hardware costs are actually, you end up losing money on that stuff, so you can get more money on the licensing when people sell games under your system. It sounds like he doesn't want to lose that much money. You know what I mean? Like he's looking at the numbers over at Sony, and remember, Sony is much like Microsoft as well. it's a big company that has a lot of different stuff going on. So if they're losing money in other departments, whether it's movies or televisions or electronics or whatever else, that affects how they feel about, even if the PS4 was great, sold a ton of money, they probably made a ton of money, but then kind of that crunch of the money, resources in other areas are affecting how they're looking at this. And I think they don't want to lose too much money initially on the.
It
on
almost sounds like
launch.
they're doing a bit of damage control before the time, like, you know what I mean? Like, no matter how you look at it, I mean, I know Xbox really has to prove kind of themselves that they're the better console this time around, but they're doing a much better job marketing. Hands down, Xbox is winning the marketing campaign this time around, just because it's like, we know more about it. We know what it looks like as well. You know what I mean? We're not just staring at a development kit that we don't know what it's going to actually look like. What are the features? Are we getting backwards compatibility? Some people have confirmed it. Some people have not confirmed it. So I think they're winning in the marketing side. And at least for me, like, I'm starting to lean towards Xbox for that reason, as well as the Xbox Game Pass reason as well.
Team Xbox all day, but
So-
I will get a PS5 though.
No, okay, so this is what I kind of want to throw out there, because I saw a poll, I think it was on IGN, about the price point, and I was surprised to see like how much people are willing to pay for the next generation, and I put it was like
$399?
$299 to $399 or whatever, and actually I saw that was the second most voted on, but the most voted on was actually $399 to $499, which I was surprised at. So people are willing to pay more. I don't know if that's true or not, but like, what do you guys think? What should Xbox do? What should Sony do? What is the price point? To me, it's you got to keep it $399.
So yeah, anything lower than that, they're not going to make money. Anything higher than that, they're like avoiding customers.
I'm saying $399, especially for for PlayStation, because for me, like personally, I got the PS4, like the very first one. So now I'm at the point where like I'm willing to like put out like $399, $400 to get the next generation. But since I just got the Xbox One X, I'm like more like all right, I'm hesitant to like actually spend more money to get the next generation, just because of like I don't know if there's like that many vast improvements to where it makes sense for me to spend another $400 on getting another generation device. So I'm just if it's $399 for a PlayStation 5, then I'm definitely getting. But if it's like $499, I'm like I'll wait till y'all get on. I mean, I'm still gonna get it, but $499 is a lot for.
Because with the Xbox One X that you mentioned, and the PS4 Pro, they've gotten customers used to paying close to $500, around $500.
That's probably why.
Next gen systems.
But I'd be down for them to like how they'll do different gigabyte sizes. So if like if they lower it for like if it's $399 for you get 120.
Or they do like a digital version where there's no CD input.
Yeah, aren't they supposed to be doing that with the
Xbox? With Xbox version.
So I'm if I might end up doing that and seeing what that's like, since I already have a
I don't
Xbox
think they'll do it with PlayStation though, because I know that they want backwards compatibility in terms of you being able to put in a PlayStation 1 disc and being able to play PlayStation 1 games. I know that they're like gunning for that.
See, I'm completely fine spending $300, $400 on a PlayStation 5. I think it's just because I just recently got the Xbox. So I'm trying to be stingy with my money.
If I was you, I would just wait for the Slim edition. You know
of
what I mean?
the PS5.
Yeah. Just wait for the PS5 Slim, or like
we can't talk about it because what I damn it. All right.
I can't say shit.
Anyway, we went to an event.
All right. Which you'll be talking about next week.
Yeah, next week.
We'll talk about it next week.
But
say something.
Yeah, like the pricing. I wonder if since Xbox is doing that kind of discless version and disc version, I wonder if they might go $399 discless version and do
$499,
$499, $450 for the disc version.
I mean, isn't the
like
discless like the normal plain Xbox like discless digital version only? I think that one starts at $250.
I think it's like $199 now.
Really? Oh,
I
wow.
think so.
I mean, to be fair, like,
or at least maybe I'm thinking of the sales, like during the
probably
Black
the
Friday
sales, because the discless version makes sense to me if you have more space. Like if I've only got like 500 gigabytes on it's not worth it for the digital version, because all my copies are going to be digital. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have the hard copies. I need at least a terabyte. If you're taking away my disk compartment, give me at least a terabyte. You know?
Yeah, I feel like they should the discless version, they should definitely try to push harder in terms of marketing, especially you just throw in a deal with Game Pass and start putting up so many games on Game Pass.
True.
Like,
You'll never need a disc.
Yeah, exactly. So you combine those two, just try to make more exclusive games on the Game Pass, and then I think they'll be able to sell it a lot better, and then I'd be more willing to get a discless one versus a actual disc one. But we'll see. We'll see once they actually drop the prices, because I'm cheap.
Yeah, I feel like we're literally not going to... I mean, even at, like... Because they're not going to be at E3, I feel like we're not going to know anything until maybe Gamescom, you know? Like, I guess it all really comes down to, like, the month of release for me, you know what I mean? Like, how that goes, how Christmas is going as well, and all those things. And then also, like, launch titles. I know there's not going to be exclusives, but it's like, what are my friends going to be buying? You know what I mean? Like... specifically the game that we'll talk about next week, I really want to play that game with my friends, you know what I mean? It's a co-op game. So I'd probably, I mean, if like, I may have to go to Xbox just because Dorian's on there, you know what I mean? Like,
Team Xbox, bro.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm sticking with $3.99. I think
that's a sweet spot.
I think $4.99 is
too much.
Too much, especially given...
Unless
what?
Unless
you think it's more VR integrated.
Hell no, dude. No. They
Microsoft
shouldn't focus on
I'm
it.
talking about PlayStation, though.
Oh, no.
No, they're using the old... The
PSVR.
PSVR.
So you still have to have all those extra...
No. You don't have to have all that extra stuff anymore.
I think it's integrated.
But they're still using the same system, the same headset as the original PS4.
That makes sense, though, yeah, because, I mean, that's still, like, I'm pretty sure 4K screen, you're fine. It's just, as long as they get rid of all those unnecessary boxes, you know?
Yeah, I think they're reducing the amount of cables and boxes.
So we can just plug straight into the console. That would be nice. Like, I was like, if I can understand it being a slightly higher price point because of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember because I brought it back, but I took home the PSVR to play Paint. What's the game called?
Blood
and Truth, and just setting. I was like halfway through setting it up, I was just like, fuck this. It's not even worth it.
Then there's all the install files you got to download and everything.
Bro, it's not even. But I ended up syncing it up. But I took the next day. I got all the cores, and it's like, bro, it's not even. It's not that serious. I can play it another time.
Yeah. For me, what I find is more annoying is that you have to like download a bunch of software before you can use it as well, which makes sense. But I was like, it's such a you're thinking to yourself, plug in, let's go. You know what I mean? And more like plug in, wait a couple hours for it to download, and then go.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the big news last week. Warcraft 3 Reforged came out, and it caused quite a stir.
I don't have any opinions on this, but Josh hit me up, or he was ranting to me about this yesterday. I was like, damn, you really he was really mad about it.
I'm raging, man. I'm also like really upset with the reviews it's been getting from actual companies, because everyone's like giving it like a 6 or a 7. Like, it's not good, but it's not bad. Like, shut the fuck up. Every time I read a review from either IGN or Kotaku, they're like, yeah, it's a good campaign. It's fun. I'm like, no one's talking about the multiplayer. That's like the biggest issue we're talking about here. So essentially what happened was, I with regards to everything I'm about to say now, I do want to say that Blizzard has come out and they're giving full refunds to everyone. Mm-hmm. So they've made the refund process a lot simpler. You ask for a refund, you get it. It's pretty straightforward. Whereas previously, people were getting banned on Blizzard forums for showing you how to get a refund for this game. So going back to their whole China censorship thing, that's fun. Right, so the game as a base, like, I actually did get to play a bit of it on my friend's computer, because I refused to pay for it. And I did have fun with the campaign, so I can see how people can play the campaign, and it's fun. And you do have your updated intro and updated outro CGI, like those films were updated, but every other cutscene it's the same as the 2003 cutscene, which was like part of the promise. Was we're getting these higher like texture models, we're getting higher texture models in the game itself, but the cutscenes are, besides the opening cutscene and the ending cutscene, all the cutscenes are almost identical.
Yeah, I saw an example they gave where they were promising and showing these full cutscenes, and then when you actually the game that they purchased, it was just the little talking heads in the corner.
It was
the original.
It's like, and I get that makes sense from like a resource point of view, but it's like, why promise that in the first place? And that was at BlizzCon. We had like a whole like an hour or more like of gameplay, people streaming it. Same setup we had yesterday with like you can see the people's face cam and everything, and they're playing, and it's like. The texture models are the same. We got the same texture models. Like, we got the same models that they promised us as BlizzCon, but we didn't get the camera angles. They were like, we wanted to show you guys the old, like, we wanted to, like, stick true to our old ones and do the same, because these are the in-game cutscenes, not the CGI cutscenes.
Yeah.
The in-game cutscenes are they're identical to the old ones, but with the newer texture models. But it's like, let us see the detail on those texture models. Give us those over the shoulder. This is in 2003, you know, or like make it a function where you can switch it on and off or something. You know what I mean? Like, so we didn't get any of that. So that's like false advertising. Like I said, we got a nice like CGI cutscene in the beginning. You get a nice CGI cutscene at the end of Illidan fighting Arthas. So that's nice, but they took out a lot of the original functions. They took out competitive ladder. They took out custom games, which they're adding back. So this is the original. I'm talking about like day one release. They took out a lot of stuff, which essentially screwed up the classic. So it's like, if you wanted to play the classic, you'd also have to download the 30 gig update first of all, and you don't get to use most of that because you didn't pay for the Reforged version. But it essentially broke the classic as well. So you can't even, unless you have a disc of the original game and you have all like a flash drive with all the patch notes up to a certain point, you can't even play the original anymore. Like they took that away from the fans as well. Granted, I can see why there's a bit of difficulty regarding the custom games thing because you can't use copyrighted texture models, you know what I mean? And if anybody listening to this has played custom games on Warcraft 3 before, you know that 90% of the games we're playing are like Naruto characters or Bleach characters or other copyrighted characters that they don't own. So I understand that we're not going to be able to get those games, which is like, whatever, that does suck. I'm sad, but at the same time, the games were fun. Like I know someone can recreate that custom game with Warcraft 3 models, and we can still play the same type of like MOBA games that they used to build. But now they updated their terms of service where it's like if you make a custom game for Warcraft 3, they 100% own that copyright. They own it in its entirety. They don't even have to say that you, Dorian, made this game. They can say, no, we, Blizzard, we made this game. Even though Dorian spent years of his life trying to make it as a custom game,
no.
we, Blizzard, own this game, and we're going to release it as a standalone.
So they don't want another Dota situation.
They don't want to miss out on another Dota, which, going back, if anyone ever missed this, if anybody doesn't know, Dota 2, one of the most popular games in the world and highest earning games in the world, used to be a custom game on Warcraft 3. I used to play the crap out of it in the early 2000s, and eventually they wanted to go standalone because League of Legends was coming. There were a couple other companies coming out with their own things. There was Heroes of New Earth, and then there was like the beta for League of Legends way back in the day. So Dota knew that they had to come up with their own standalone, and they approached Blizzard with this, and Blizzard was like, yeah, whatever. You guys are a custom game. Come on, please. So then Valve was like, yeah, we'll do it. Valve made Dota 2, and now Blizzard's looking at all that money that they're making off of like the esports. And yeah, they have Overwatch, but it's not making nearly as much as Dota 2. So they don't want to have another Dota situation. So that sucks. So I know I won't be able to get any like cool tower defense games because who is going to sit down and make a custom game knowing full that it's like not going to go anywhere. Like
someone else owns it.
Exactly. I think people are going to still make custom games, but they're not going to put effort into it. You know what I mean? They're not going to like go out of their way to make something special. Like they'll probably just rehash old tower defense games and old MOBA games. And yeah, there's a lot of in-game bugs that they are planning on fixing. Blizzard has said that they just released a 2 gig patch yesterday, I believe, so they are fixing a lot of the issues, a lot of the in-game bugs. That 2 gig patch was mainly to fix the classic, which is insane to think that they're spending most of their resources trying to fix a game from 2003. That's like, I don't get it. And don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that the people who did the updated character models, they outsourced that to Malaysia. Like, they didn't even do it themselves. And I would be more than happy paying $5, maybe $10 for basically an updated texture pack with updated characters, but not $30 to $40. You know what I mean? Like I want a remaster for that price. You know, like with cutscenes. With cutscenes, that's like the number one thing. I'll accept all the bugs. I'll accept all the multiplayer bugs if you just gave me all the freaking cutscenes you promised me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that tough, and it's. A lot of the cutscenes they did, like the end fight, you do have like a nice remastered cutscene for that, but it's like 2003 combat doesn't like stage fighting, if you will, is not going to be as real. Like it looks slow and clunky like the old one, but just with updated graphics. I think they had an opportunity to go in there and make like the fight more epic and a little bit more realistic with the motion, the way people move, but. This should have been a hole-in-one for them. I don't understand. This literally should have been the easiest thing in the world. It should have cost them like minimal money, and they should have been rolling in the money right now. And I don't think they even care about it. Like I don't think they care going forward. They're just gonna focus on Diablo 4. They're gonna make a couple of fixes. The fact that they're giving refunds to anybody and everyone means that they've given up, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy that they're doing that, but if they're that ready to just be like, here, everyone take their money back, and then they said they will make fixes, but they will not fix the cutscenes. They said that they will not be fixing the cutscenes, and it's like, I actually, you know what? I have a quote here that I want to bring up because they had the they had their what is it? I think like a shareholder meeting literally 2 days ago, and the number one thing they just said, it's been a hard week, guys. I was like, you don't say. Yeah, honestly, it's been a bit of a hard week. Our community has come to expect really amazing things from us, and we've heard that from them we did not achieve that bar. And it's like, yeah, no. Oh god, the issues are ongoing, and hopefully they fix it. If anybody's listening to this and they want to play it just for single player reasons, I think you would enjoy it. Maybe wait for it to be on sale. Hopefully that'll be soon because it's not worth the $30, you know. Yeah, like I'm upset that they also completely ruined a community that's been going on. A lot of people keep telling me, they're like, but you get to play the campaign with new graphics. And I'm like, people weren't playing Warcraft 3 in 2010 for the story. You know what I mean? Like, people weren't playing Warcraft 3 for 10 years after its release for the story. They were playing it for the multiplayer reasons. And they screwed up all they took away ladder, which is the competitive form. And I don't know. I'm just disappointed, Blizzard.
Tell me how you really feel, Josh.
Man, I think Blizzard needs to stop taking the metaphorical penis in their bum that is Activision. That's what I think. It's a hard thing to say, but that's exactly what I want to say. I want to go down. I want to go up to North California. I want to go into Blizzard, and I just want to ask them, what happened, guys? Well, how'd you drop the ball on this? Like, it should have been a hole-in-one. It shouldn't have even been that difficult, and it's been like 2 years since they announced this. Oh my god, like. I don't know, man. It's bad. The community's upset. A lot of the reviewers are cutting them some slack, which fair enough. Has been a lot of tantrum throwing, myself included. I'm a bit of a crybaby on this, but that's because it's Warcraft, man. It used to be part of my identity. You know what I mean? Like,
I can tell.
Yeah. So I'm upset about that. I think the game's trash. I'm playing the original right now because I actually have the
original disc.
No, I have I never updated the original on my computer.
Oh,
so I still have it. I'm good. They took out the LAN function, Dennis. You can't play this game without an internet connection.
Weird.
You can't the old days of being in a basement with all your friends with your computers playing this game? No LAN.
That's how I played StarCraft.
Yeah, exactly. No local area network. I don't know if they're planning on fixing that in the future, but it was like, I was like, what was the point? You know? Oh my gosh. Anyways, fix the game, Blizzard, please. Oh.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. Something a little more positive. Apex Legends Season 4 started this week.
Been killing it.
They've been. I haven't played it yet, so before I ask you guys how it is, they released a bunch of different trailers, and they had these cool cinematics, and they did a cool thing where they introduced this one character, James the Forge McCormick, and then they had this whole thing where he's like being interviewed on television about joining the Apex Legends and whatnot, and then he gets killed live on TV by Revenant.
Revenant, yeah.
And then later they show this really cool cinematic trailer with Revenant slaughtering this family. And
it felt like John Wick, man.
Yeah, it felt like it was super. It wasn't like super dark, but it was like dark enough.
It got dark,
man.
Man.
Y'all killing he killed the people in front of the girl, like snapping neck. Yeah, I was like, Jesus. I was like,
it's
y'all
twisted because he thinks he's still human.
Yeah, he's got a human brain and android body.
Yeah.
Reminding me of the Terminator, just kind of like the movements.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I like the mechanical movements of his arm too, because usually when people do these kinds of mechanical creatures, they're usually motion capped off of a real person, and his arms moved in a way that a real person wouldn't move, and I like that because I was like, he's a robot. He's a very mechanical. His arms are moving more in that way. I really enjoyed that. And man, Apex has been stepping up their game with these cutscenes, man. These trailers and stuff, they're looking good, man. They're sitting right there with League of Legends. They're gonna have to make a comic or web series or something soon.
Follow the Overwatch route. But I will say, I got to play. I played with him a couple of times. It wasn't for me. He's not my character. I tried a couple times, and
is
maybe
he slower? He's
a little bit slower, but I mean, when you use a special ability, his tactical ability, he does move a little bit faster. But he's not it just wasn't for me. And maybe I just need to give him more of a chance because I think I played with him like 3 or 4 rounds. But if you're not the first person,
do you play passive?
What do you mean?
Would you say when you play the game, do you play more passively, like you like to keep your distance, keep your shots up?
No, because I usually do Mirage, and I usually will get a wingman, and then I just go in. It depends. It depends because like now with this one as well, they've included like a whole new round of weapons. It's like sniper is its own category now instead of like grouping it like there's sniper ammo and stuff. And so now become more of a sniper because it's an option now. You have sniper ammo and stuff like that, and they've kind of changed some of the weapons around as well and categorize them differently. So now it's like trying to find a new strategy while still like playing the way I'm playing while using Mirage because that's my main right now. But I like when you're playing with him, like when he's in your group, he is beneficial. Like if the person knows how to use him when like they're using his mega ability and stuff like that, it can actually like help you out a lot. So I think like he's a good player if you know how to use him. I was just shit with him. So, but he was pretty fun. But I'm enjoying season 4 thus far. I've got 3 championships under my belt. Come see me if you want to play with me at Collider Games too on Xbox. But yeah, I'm having a blast so far with it.
Let me go through the abilities real quick for him. So his passive ability is Stalker, which Dorian spoke about a bit. You basically get to crouch, walk faster, and climb higher than other legends, which is great because I've been in many situations where I've tried climbing something and I've just been like just that little like tiny bit like short to get onto it. So he's able to move around a lot more, which is nice. His tactical ability is called Silence. He throws a device that deals damage and disables enemy abilities for 10 seconds. So, which is
like a little red ball shoots out.
Good to neutralize people. Then there's the ultimate ability, which you said, which is very handy. It's a death totem. Basically, what it does is it drops a totem, and that way, if anybody in your team like dies or gets downed, instead of like having to get healed, they just get teleported to the totem, like reset. It's kind of like having like an extra life, I guess, in a sense.
It's like a reverse Wraith in a way. Like I
get that. Yeah, it's kind of like a reverse. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A couple other things that the assimilation update came with was, I'm just going to read this real quick. You were talking about the sniper rifle. They added the Sentinel sniper rifle. They added the World's Edge map changes. They did some changes to the map. Character buffs, including a big one for Bloodhound. So there's a big update for the Bloodhound getting a character buff. Weapon adjustments. Apparently, one of the weapon adjustments really screws over the Havoc. So
because I think it helps it because they got rid of the hop up for the.
They nerfed it basically.
Yeah, so because
it was too.
I don't know. I don't use the energy weapons as much, and I mean if I do like you can use.
I don't like the delay on the Havoc.
I like Devotion.
Yeah, the Devotion's. I don't
Devotion's my shit.
The delay on the Havoc, I don't like. It's like it's a great gun, but it's like it takes a couple seconds to get it to start firing. You know what I mean?
I think that's why they enhanced it while also taking away the hop up, which I think makes sense. But I still that's like my least favorite energy gun of the bunch, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and they also added 100 Battle Pass rewards and plenty more. So
which I will not be getting because I'm not paying any more money for.
But yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Have you dropped any cash on Apex Legends?
Yeah, a little bit.
On what?
Just suits on my skins.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And no season passes?
Oh, I bought season 2 pass, but I haven't got season 3 or season 4, and I think I'm going to get season 4 maybe, but yeah, that's the last time I spent money was on
the battle passes 2. Have been getting better. I know. Do you remember that first battle pass? How bad it was?
I didn't get the season 1. I got strictly season 2, and then
that's when it started getting better.
Looking at season 3, and then like this season 4, I was like, God damn it, bro! Like y'all are really gonna make me spend more money, and then like the little stuff I did have saved up, not the money, but like the
crafting materials and stuff,
stuff like that. I used all of that to buy the new Reverend character. So now it's just like, I got to put on more money, or just got to keep killing those daily challenges. So.
From what I was able to see, I guess the Revenant's very much like a character that you need to push in because from what I was able to read, it's a high damage character. You got to go in there. As soon as you see something, you just got to be on the hunt, and you got to go and you got to damage people. But because of that, you're probably going to get downed a lot. So from what
is true.
From what I was reading on strategies, it's his best play style is to get in there, and then you're going to get downed anyways because you're like right in the heat of it. But do as much damage as you can before you get downed to help your team out. At least that seems to be the best play style for it.
Nice.
All right.
Moving on. Fallout 76. Wastelanders official trailer.
You'd think they would have given up on this game. You know?
Hey, no Fallout 76 lander.
So Fallout 76 Wastelanders official trailer came out. We got a release date. Remember, it got delayed because they originally were saying that it was going to come out this past fall, winter. Excuse me.
Blush.
Now it's going to come out on April 7th, which, at first I'm like, man, it's so far away. It's like, it's February. It's actually not that far away. It's 2 months away. Not that big, This is what I'm looking forward to. As everyone knows, I love Fallout. The franchise was disappointed in Fallout 76, to say the least. So were a lot of people. So I didn't really get into it. It just felt like playing a beta. I haven't really played it much since. But I'm waiting for this to come out so I can get back into it, because this is what I'm looking for, a story, NPCs. I thought that's what the game was supposed to be about. I thought it was supposed to be you playing with other people playing Fallout, but instead it was something.
It was a survival game.
Yeah, and just
Which, I mean, I guess if you look at it, there
fine.
are survival modes in Fallout, but it's like at least then we have that amazing story to carry us that makes us want to go and check our water supplies and our radiation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there was a lot of issues with. There was also a lot of game breaking stuff in the beginning with the nukes and stuff. I remember that. Like I did play a bit of it, even though like I do hate on this game quite a lot. I did see the appeal in it, and I saw what they were going for. I just wish that they had new. I wish that they knew. Like it looks like they know what they're doing, but they just they were a couple years away from giving us what they wanted to give us, and then I guess they probably had to push the game out earlier for money reasons.
Yeah, I mean they should have waited, and then last E3. We went to the Bethesda press conference, and they kind of won me back with, the announcement of Nuclear Winter and Wastelanders at that time. And then the whole Fallout First thing happened at the end of last year about people paying more money just to get certain features in the game. Their creation club stuff, yeah. Yeah, and just in the pricing, too. It was crazy. It was $100 for a year, you know what I mean?
It's ludicrous.
So, I'm in this, I don't know what to think anymore. I'm definitely going to play this once it comes out, and then I'm going to make my judgment. This is free.
I really hope...
This is free. Wastelanders, the DLC that adds all the stuff that I'm talking about is free. So I'm not going to complain about that, but I'm going to play it and see how it is and see my take on how the direction is going.
I just remembered now with Bethesda, isn't their next game going to be Starfield?
Well, they have Elder Scrolls 6 and...
But mind you, I guess for Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, all we ever got 2 or 3 years ago was a very small cutscene. For Elder Scrolls 6, it was a view of a mountain, and then we saw Elder Scrolls 6. And then for Starfield, we just basically saw a comet.
I think Elder Scrolls is next.
Okay.
And then also remember... Now with Starfield, they just got one up by
Outer Worlds.
Yeah, Outer Worlds, their former partner, Obsidian.
Yeah, / co-creators back in the day. Yes. Yeah.
So now they kind of got one up by Outer Worlds, and even though it didn't win Game of the Year, but it got in kind of the category. It was up in there.
It was nominated.
Yeah, nominated for best game last year. And all the reactions were positive. You loved the game. I enjoyed the game.
Played it multiple times, the different endings.
So now Bethesda has to come out to make something that's... Because basically Outer Worlds is kind of what you would think...
Starfield would be, yeah.
Yes. So they may have... I don't know if they're going to go completely back to the drawing board, but they're going to have to do something.
I was about to say you're right, because I'm thinking it would be too resource heavy for them to make bigger open world areas. So they're gonna have to follow a very similar route that Outer Worlds did. You know what I mean? We're just having really big open world levels rather than just one big open world. I don't know, unless they decide to go the whole No Man's Sky route and give us a solar system, which I highly doubt is gonna happen.
After what happened with Fallout 76, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're gonna be putting. I don't think they're gonna be taking any risks. That's for sure. I don't see them taking any risks in the future.
Yeah, nothing like that. All right. Next up, I've got this is just a minor thing. Phil Spencer, the Xbox boss, says that frame rate is more important than resolution. I think we've talked about this before.
Briefly, but not much.
Just in general, all the polls and everyone agrees. Frame rate is more important. I mean, obviously, you don't want your resolution to be shit.
But it's
if it hits a certain threshold, you're fine, right?
I mean, no one's there's not a lot of people going out with 8K TVs. You know what I mean? Mind you, when the next console comes out, they're expecting us to have 4K TVs in order to get the most out of the consoles, which makes sense. But it's with higher frames per second, you can enjoy smoother gameplay on like maybe a less better computer. You know what I mean? I mean, not computer but screen. You know?
Yeah, I mean they already did this. I think it was it Halo 3 for Xbox One? Was it? Yeah, I think it was Halo 3 where they had to reduce the resolution, but keep the frame rate higher
for multiplayer reasons,
the
right?
Xbox 360 at the time. So. You know, it was like, it wasn't quite HD, but it was more than standard def. It was like in the middle there, but they had to reduce it to get that 60 frames per second.
I mean, I'd rather have the frames as well.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Especially for any kind of game that's going to be multiplayer or like resource heavy. Like, I'd rather have the extra frames. You know, if I'm playing a Telltale game, give me the resolution. Yeah. You know, but if I'm playing anything with multiplayer, any FPS game, I would rather have the frames per second if I'm doing FPS.
Yeah.
You know, RPGs maybe then I'd want the resolution. But I don't know. Then again, I look at The Witcher 3, and it's a very resource heavy game as well. And there are some moments where like the graphics are amazing, but like my PlayStation suffers, and I'd rather have more frames. You know?
Yeah. No one likes the stuttering or lagging. All right. No big surprise. Uncharted, the movie, has been delayed.
Cancel this damn movie, bro. Scrap it now, please.
I don't know which one has more drama, the Crow reboot or the Uncharted movie right now.
They're doing a reboot for The Crow?
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Dude, it's been like 7 years since they've been like talking about it.
Last was Jason Momoa's attached or something, right?
Dude, Tom Hiddleston was supposed to do it. Jason Momoa was supposed to do it.
Jason Momoa is too big to be a crow. Like, to be like the crow. Like, no.
Dude, there were so many people like in this
I could
role.
see Tom Hiddleston. I'll be honest. If you get good makeup and hair, I could see Tom Hiddleston.
There's just been so many people that I can't even remember.
Hell, Tommy Wiseau would be better than Jason Momoa for this role.
The amount of directors and lead actors. So anyways, the same thing's starting to happen with Uncharted now. The 6th director left, Travis Knight. Didn't Dan Trachtenberg, was he the 5th one before that?
I lose count.
Yeah.
And now it's the Venom 2 directors attached to it.
Is it? Okay.
Ruben
Fleischer?
Yeah, but honestly, I say just scrap this movie. Sony has already made a deal with Netflix for their animated stuff to create animated content on Netflix. I just say take a page out of The Witcher's book and just make a limited series. Do a 6. You can do every other year can be like a installment from the game. Like, because now I think I read in the report that this with the pushbacks, like this is going to be Tom as an adult. Like it's not going to be a prequel. It's like Tom as adult. Nathan Drake, and he's like going off on adventures and stuff. It's like, even though like Tom will be, by the time this starts shooting, he's going to be 23 or 24. It's like, bro, you're still playing a high school kid.
Dude, it's a long time away before he gets to like regular Nathan Drake.
Like regular old age. So I'm like, I would just say I think it would be the better move. Scrap the movie, take it to Netflix, do a limited series, and then that way you can like do a prequel with Tom Holland, him as young Nathan Drake, and then maybe like 2 years later you have actual Nathan, what's his name?
Nathan Fillion
come in and be the real Nathan Drake for the older chapters. I would say that's the best move. Make it like 6 or 7 episodes and dedicate each season to each chapter of the game that we've gotten, instead of trying to make a movie and try to fit all of this story in one movie, bro.
I would say either do that or the exact opposite and just give us an origin story, you know?
Or an origin story. I'm fine with that.
We got a slight origin story in Nathan Drake. Was it 3 or 4?
4, with him as a little kid and stuff, the flashbacks and all that.
There was some in 3 as well, flashbacks of him as a kid.
When you get to play as him.
I don't know. There was cutscenes. I don't think you got to play as him, but there was like him getting like mentored, if you will. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I can see Tom Holland doing like the origin story for Nathan Drake, and then like do a sequel with Nathan Fillion, all grown up. I loved that Nathan Fillion
the
Uncharted
fan-made one.
Yeah,
that was dope.
That was sick, man. Yeah.
I would rather do that than trying to force him to be like trying to act like he's a grown ass man when he's in 2020 or in the same year like Spider-Man comes out in 2 years.
It's a long time before he will get
pushing
to there.
Yeah, bro. It's like if you're still playing a kid in high school for another franchise, what makes you think you can jump over and be like, all right, I'm an adult now. I'm like
he's
supposed to be like 30.
He's supposed to be Indiana Jones,
bro.
right?
Like he's supposed to be like mid-30s at this point, bro. like maybe they'll have to use technology to de-age him up instead of de-aging him, like using that de-aging technology. They'll have to de-age him up instead. I don't know. I just say scrap it and make a series. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
especially after the success of Witcher.
Yeah, the success of Witcher has done. Netflix says it was like their most viewed like first season.
Oh shit! And they got a fire soundtrack that released on Spotify.
And they're doing that animated.
I would say they're doing an animated thing as well.
And then if I'm Sony, I'm like, all right. That's how you do a video game adaptation, and the fans, it seems like it's doing well for the general audience, and as well as it seems like it's pleasing the people that are fans of the book as well as the game. So I think that's the better route.
You know what I haven't heard of in a while, in a hot minute, was the Monster Hunter movie they're doing. Yeah. We got stills like a while ago, like almost like half a year ago. We saw some of the stills, and I remember everyone was disappointed because we saw these like real world soldiers in the Monster Hunter world, and then luckily they appeased the fans and they're like, don't worry, they showed us a hunter with the giant swords and everything. We're like, okay, good, we still have actual hunters. That's fantastic. I don't want like the Marines coming in taking down dragons, you know.
It's funny, I mean, Sony has a couple properties as well besides Uncharted that they could do. You got Last of Us, you have God of War. Those would make either excellent movies or TV series.
And God of
The
War
Last
would be
of Us,
great,
that could be I think that could be a movie, and I think they've done like different like activations and stuff like that, because I watched, it was in my Last of Us feels a while back, and I watched the one where they like did a live action version on the stage and had like all the acting and stuff like that. I believe it wasn't the real like voice characters, but they had somebody play him, and that worked perfectly fine.
If you watch the mocap stuff from The Last of Us, it's basically like a movie. You know what I mean? You could have easily just taken all that like dots and stuff off of them and like filmed on location rather than in studio.
Sony has a bunch of stuff they can just turn into series or movies if they want to.
No, that's true.
Playing games.
I think God of War would be an amazing. I don't want a series, but I want a God of War movie. Like
that would be dope.
If they can do like a trilogy that's the original God of War trilogy as a movie,
fire.
And I know there's a lot of actors that say they want to play it. Like I know The Rock is very vocal about wanting to play, but he's too comedic. He can't do it. You know what I mean?
I'm giving him a chance. Let's see what he does with Black Adam. If he can kill it as a serious Black Adam, then I'll be like, all right. If you can do Black Adam like that, then you can do Kratos. I was about to say, isn't the voice actor black?
He is, yeah.
I was about to say Vin Diesel, but he's not black, and he's not.
Well, Kratos is black.
No, I'm saying
he's just ashy.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense with the voice as well. Who? Okay,
at least like I don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure, like that's to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure Kratos is black.
I was just thinking
or
Vin
mixed
Diesel
or
because of
something.
a bald head. But who would I cast as Kratos if they did a God of War?
Yeah, I know. Like
that's a good question for the fans. If you're watching right now, let us know in the comments who you cast as Kratos. This is a good fan cast.
Yeah. Anything else? I played some of the Disintegration beta.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It was fine. It was cool. For me, the multiplayer is not really going to appeal to me because it's almost like instead of FPS, you're playing like
third person drone.
Yeah, almost you're playing like a shooter. Like a ship, like a starship,
okay,
right?
That makes sense. Yeah, like you're piloting more.
You're more piloting, and you're shooting from afar. I'm definitely interested in seeing what the single player campaign looks like, because I think that would work a lot better. Where in this one you're a little more far removed, and you're sending the troops in to fight other people, and things get a little hectic because then someone else comes in. You got your teammates, and then they got their little squad of people, and then you're playing other opponents, and like you're just trying to. It's just mayhem.
A lot going on.
A lot going on.
It seems like it's one of the things that a lot of hardcore gamers would appreciate. But like, what would you say was the curve? The learning curve.
Surprisingly, the learning curve wasn't too bad.
Okay.
The controls seemed pretty seamless, even though it seemed very confusing at first. You're like, oh, you got to do this and this. But you actually could. I think for me, it was more about like
too much things happening on screen.
Yeah, too much things, and then you're trying to fight at the same time, but then you're also trying to direct your troops or whatever. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like in the campaign it would be more I don't know.
Well,
The flow of it would be better.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to. And first of all, you'd be able to pause. You know what I mean? You could probably like pause, take a look at your troops, like assess the situation.
Yeah, where your troops would obviously.
It's difficult when like games kind of expect you to do more things. And I mean, you see that a lot more in MOBAs and MMOs. Where you have to do a lot of micromanagement and you do a lot of different key bindings and stuff like that. And there's definitely an appeal. There's definitely an audience for that, but it's a very small market, I think. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people who love playing those games, but I think of even like a game that we're going to talk about a little bit about it as well, I guess, was Nier Automata.
Uh-huh.
I played that game, and it's a beautiful game, beautiful storyline, but there's like a point in time where it's like you're doing a hack and slash game while also controlling this drone that shoots things, and I was like, my brain couldn't do both at the same time. No matter how much I tried, my brain could not do both at the same time. So yeah, I don't. Would you? I'm excited to see what the single player for that would be like, because it looks like it would be a cool story.
Yeah. For the Nier thing, it was I ended up going to the Nier concert. I have never played Nier before.
Oh, the music's beautiful.
Yeah. And I thought, because I went online and looked at the YouTube, like had like a Nier Automata like concert, and I kind of looked at it just to see what I could expect from it. But it was a little different from that. It wasn't the Automata concert. It was just Nier in general.
Okay.
And so it was more choral music.
Well, I think that's a different game, isn't it?
No, I mean,
like,
they have.
There was Nier and Nier Automata. But
yeah,
I
think this concert was just Nier as like a whole, like as a franchise, right? Music from the whole franchise.
I've always wanted to do that
game.
For Final Fantasy. They do a lot of those, like the same like concert tours. I've always wanted to go to that for like Final Fantasy.
Automata, like there's a lot of singers. Where in this one it was like choral music, and then so there's a chorus. But the singer only came out like twice to sing out.
And there's like a full string quartet and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, atmosphere heavy.
Yeah. So I took my lady there, and she doesn't even play games at all. So like to her, like it was a whole new experience. I played her some of the music and she enjoyed it. She's like, that's from a video game. I'm like, yeah, that's from like video games aren't like. I think her impression of video games is just like. Shooting, blowing up,
yelling.
Yeah. And she's not used to their story and characters and
there's so many
romance.
There's beautiful soundtracks out there, man.
There's a lot of things like that. So, but she heard that and she's like, "Oh, that sounds nice." So I took her to it, and it was actually a very pleasant experience. Even not being a fan of the franchise. It was something that you could go to and enjoy. And obviously, there was tons of fans there. Like some people dressed up and. People,
cosplaying and stuff,
and singing along, and
that's always
crying,
fun.
and you know what I mean, like, and because they had visuals on the screen.
Oh yeah,
of the game,
replaying certain moments,
and they actually had like concept art, and they kind of like fit it to the music. So, and it was an enjoyable time. So, definitely, if you're a Nier fan or if you just
like music,
and
like
music.
concerts,
especially orchestral music. Something.
And like you said, it's a visual experience as well, which is nice.
Yeah. What about you guys? Anything you guys are doing, playing?
We went to the Outriders event. We can't say anything. We had fun at the event itself.
A lot of fun.
We can't talk about what we did, but we had fun.
Cool.
So the embargo lifts next Thursday the 13th. So we get to talk about our impressions and stuff like that.
Cool.
So it should be fun.
Real quick before we answer that question is, I know I said this to you earlier, but Activision plans on releasing several remastered games in 2020 because of the success from the Crash Bandicoot series having sold 10 million copies or something. So they had so much success that they're going to be doing, well, the exact quote is, "We will continue to tap into our portfolio of beloved IP and bring several remastered and reimagined experiences to our players in 2020. So similar to like them having reimagined Modern Warfare, there's gonna be a couple, which would be nice. And I think like even though it's not their IP specifically, that could even because they work together, that could even lead towards a remaster for the original Diablo, which would be quite cool too. But games I've been playing. Let's see, what have I been playing? I've been watching more TV, which is weird because I don't usually watch TV. I watch a lot of anime, and there's no good anime out this season. If anybody's watching and cares, there's nothing really good to watch anime-wise. But I've been binging Smallville and still playing. I'm finishing up Devil May Cry 5 because I got really into, man. What is it? The game that I've been playing again recently. That's I'm spacing on it, but yeah, I'm trying to finish up Devil May Cry 5 currently. That's about it. And then still playing Fortnite every now and then, but only because I have a lot of friends who play it. Like, it's not the kind of game I'd go to on my own to play, but competitive-wise, I've been enjoying that. And then Risk of Rain 2, which I'll probably talk about every podcast forever for this year. If you guys haven't played Risk of Rain 2, whatever you're on, PC, console, get the game. It's like $20. It's amazing. It's an amazing roguelike shooter, third-person shooter, and yeah, you guys will love it.
I've been playing the Telltale Batman game because it was free.
You got it.
It was weird. I couldn't download it from home. It wouldn't let me buy it, and then I basically not buy it, but you know what I mean, like purchase it for free, and then I did it here, and it was fine. And then it unlocked it so I could download it at home. So I started playing. I finished the first episode. So I'm on to the second
episode. This is a weird question to ask because it's got almost nothing to do with the game and more about the character design. How do you like the bat suit?
I like it.
I like it. I like it too. Like, it's got much like this, like slightly smaller, like bat horns, if you will. You know, I like it. It's I enjoy it's like very cel shaded as well. Yeah. It's a nice art style, and the voice acting's good.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I forgot to mention the Wolf Among Us Part 2. They gave us a release window. It's obviously not coming out this year, so 2021.
I'm just excited we're getting a sequel. I never expect, considering when did the original come out? Like 2016 or no, older, like 2014, I think, 2014 or 2013. So I was never expecting a sequel. It was just a really good story. Like they built this beautiful world, and I want to see it expanded. You know, there's so much you can do with folklore. So you know, it'd be cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm enjoying that. I mean, like I said, it's one of the Telltale games are in that in between, blurring the line between an actual game and just watching like a story, like a television show. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not doing that much, but you're doing a little. You know, your decisions do affect what happens, but it's not. You know, it's not.
The story is just good.
Yeah. What about you, Dorian?
I've just been playing Apex. Like. Since I got back from London and Sundance, I've just been trying to catch up on Apex. I've just been every time I have a chance.
You ever play with Caboose at all?
No, I haven't. I haven't hit him up in a minute. I need to, but yeah, I've just been going online, just playing, just ridiculous amount. Try to hit up those daily challenges, but mainly just trying to get used to Season 4 because there's a lot. Because I didn't really play a lot too much of Season 3, so it was just trying to get used to all the changes from. That they've made since Season 2. Like I still like when you load up on the screen, it like says like your little stuff. Like I still have Season 2 on my like. It says Season 2. Like I need to update that shit. But yeah, I've just been playing a ridiculous amount of Apex, and I touched back on Jedi Fallen Order for a little bit too.
Oh really?
Just to test out the new lightsaber.
The new lightsaber. That's sick. Yeah, I need to hit up Caboose as well. I know he's down to play Apex sometime. Yeah, I need to hit him up as well. I'm down for that.
Well, the next big game that's supposedly coming out is Half-Life Alyx.
All right, just what, like
March,
and end of next month sometime.
Yeah.
And then I guess also Final Fantasy 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
because that's coming out. I got pushed back by a month.
Yeah.
Originally it was going to come out this month.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. Dorian, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at Dorian Parks and Rec. Find me on Instagram at Dorian Parks, and you can find me right here at Collider Games.
Josh,
you guys can find me on Twitch at Josh. I remember. You guys can find me on Twitch at josh.toki, and you guys can find me on Instagram at josh_toki, as well as here on the Collider Games podcast.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero or Instagram, dennis.tzng. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Collider Games, and to the Collider Factory podcast feed, where we're here every single week. Until next time, see you guys later.